Decennial. Lasting for or happening every 10 years. Deportment. The way a person stands and walks. Dihedral. Having or contained by two plane faces. Diphthong. A sound formed by the combination of two vowels in a single syllable, as in coin. Domesticate. Tame an animal and keep it as a pet or for farm produce. Downtempo. Played at a slow tempo. Dulcet. Often ironic, of a sound, sweet and soothing. Iae. Sneer, simper, snigger, leer, grin. Ecumenism. The aim of promoting unity among the world's Christian churches. Emollient. Softening or soothing the skin. Encase. Enclose or cover something in a case or close-fitting surround. Ergot. A disease of rye and other cereals, caused by a fungus. Escutcheon. A shield or emblem bearing a coat of arms. Fenugreek. A white-flowered plant with seeds that are used as a spice. Forefoot. Each of the two front feet of a four-footed animal. Foretaste. A sample of something that is to come. Gamey. Variant spelling of gamey. Gatefold. An oversized folded page in a book or magazine, intended to be opened out for reading. Globetrotter. Informal, a person who travels widely. Greenhorn. Informal, an inexperienced or naive person. Hagiography. Literature concerned with the lives of saints. Idealize. Idealized, regard or represent as perfect or better than in reality. Invidious. Unacceptable, unfair, and likely to arouse resentment or anger in others. Javan. A person from the Indonesian island of Java. Lederhosen. Leather shorts with suspenders, traditionally worn by men in the Alps. Lumberyard. A place that sells lumber and other building materials. Luxuriate. Take pleasure in something enjoyable. Lycopene. A red pigment related to carotene and present in tomatoes and many berries and fruits. Mannish. Like a man in appearance or behavior. Metrosexual. Informal, a heterosexual urban man who enjoys shopping, fashion, and similar interests usually associated with women or homosexual men. Moneybags. Informal, a wealthy person. Ndebele. A member of a people of Zimbabwe and any South Africa. Nightie. Informal, a nightdress. Octahedron. A three-dimensional shape having 8 plane faces, in particular 8 equal triangular faces. Papilloma. A small, usually benign wart-like growth. Paraplegia. Paralysis of the legs and lower body. Perfidious. Literary, deceitful and untrustworthy. Perianth. The outer part of a flower, consisting of the calyx, sepals, and corolla, petals. Picaresque. Relating to fiction dealing with the adventures of a dishonest but appealing hero. Playbill. A poster announcing a theatrical performance. Precancerous. Likely to develop into cancer if untreated. Presuppose. Depend on something in order to exist or be true. Promethean. Daring or skillful like Prometheus, a minor god in Greek mythology who stole fire from the gods and gave it to the human race. Providential. Happening by chance at a favorable time, opportune. Psychosexual. Relating to or involving the psychological aspects of a person's sexual feelings. Pushcart. A small cart that is pushed or drawn by hand. Radiometer. An instrument for detecting or measuring radiation. Rastafarian. Relating to a religious movement of Jamaican origin believing that Haile Selassie, the former emperor of. Reanimate. Bring someone back to life or consciousness. Ruminant. A mammal of a type that chews the cud, such as cattle, sheep, or deer. Sachem. Among some American Indian peoples, a chief. Schistosomiasis. Another term for bilharzia. Scrubland. Land. Shopaholic. Informal, a person with an uncontrollable urge to go shopping. Sideman. A supporting musician in a jazz band or rock group. Sika. A deer with a grayish coat that turns yellowish-brown with white spots in summer, native to Japan and SE Asia. Skin tight. Very close-fitting. Sleepwalk. Walk around while asleep. Slipway. A slope leading into water, used for launching and landing boats and ships or for building and repairing them. Solicitous. Showing interest or concern about a person's well-being. Southeastward. Toward the southeast. Spasmodic. Occurring or done in brief, irregular bursts. Splay. Spread or be spread out or further apart. Squiggle. A short line that curls and loops irregularly. Standoffish. Informal, cold and unfriendly. Stomachache. A pain in a person's belly. Sublease. A lease of a property by a tenant to a subtenant. Sunnah. The traditional part of Muslim law based on Muhammad's words or acts, accepted as authoritative by Muslims. Suzerainty. The right of one country to rule over another country that has its own ruler but is not fully independent. Togolese. A person from Togo, a country in West Africa. Tonsillectomy. A surgical operation to remove the tonsils. Transmigration. The passing of a person's soul after their death into another body. Unasked. Of a question, not asked. Unblinking. Direct, thorough, and honest. Undemanding. Not demanding. Unmanly. Not manly. Unquiet. Unable to be still, restless. Unspecific. Not specific, vague. Untiring. Continuing at the same rate without loss of energy. Untreatable. For whom or which no medical care is available or possible. Vetiver. A fragrant extract or essential oil obtained from the root of an Indian grass, used in perfumery and aromatherapy. Wind chill. The cooling effect of wind on a surface. Womenfolk. The women of a family or community considered as a group. Abrogate. Formal cancel or end a law or agreement. Acanthus. A plant or shrub with spiny decorative leaves. Akimbo. With hands on the hips and elbows turned outward. Aniseed. The seed, or seeds, of the plant anise, used as a flavoring. Antediluvian. Belonging to the time before the biblical flood. Arpeggio. The notes of a musical chord played in rapid succession. Atonal. Not written in any musical key. Backslash. A backward sloping diagonal line, backslash. Batwing. Having a deep armhole and a tight cuff. Bearskin. A tall cap of black fur worn ceremonially by certain troops. Buckthorn. A thorny shrub or small tree that bears black berries. Cadenza. A difficult solo passage in a concerto or other musical work, typically near the end. Camisole. A woman's loose-fitting undergarment for the upper body. Cephalopod. A mollusk of a class including octopuses and squids. Cerise. A light, clear red color. Chalcedony. A type of quartz with very small crystals, such as onyx. Cribbage. A card game for two players, the objective of which is to play cards whose value reaches exactly 15 or 31. Cross-country. Across fields or countryside, rather than keeping to roads or tracks. Dimorphic. Chiefly biology occurring in or representing two distinct forms. Disconsolate. Very unhappy and unable to be comforted. Disputation. Debate or argument. Eye patch. A patch worn to protect an injured eye. Ferroelectric. Displaying permanent electric polarization that varies in strength with the applied electric field. Grenadine. A sweet syrup made in France from pomegranates. Houseplant. A plant grown indoors. Hydrography. The science of surveying and charting seas, lakes, and rivers. Incongruent. Out of place, incongruous. Intaglio. An incised or engraved design. Jetsam. Unwanted material or goods that have been thrown overboard from a ship and washed ashore. Klaxon. Trademark an electric horn or similar loud warning device. Landsman. A person unfamiliar with the sea or sailing. Licentiate. The holder of a certificate of competence to practice a particular profession. Lobelia. A garden plant with blue or scarlet flowers. Maidservant. Dated a female servant. Mellifluous. Pleasingly smooth and musical to hear. Monoplane. An aircraft with one pair of wings. Nectarine. A variety of peach with smooth skin. Nonpareil. Better than anyone or anything else, unrivaled. Officious. Too ready to assert one's authority or interfere. Olmec. A member of a prehistoric people who lived on the Gulf of Mexico. Peremptory. Insisting on immediate attention or obedience, especially in an abrupt way. Porphyria. A rare hereditary disease in which the body fails to break down hemoglobin properly, causing mental disturbance, extreme sensitivity to light, and excretion of dark pigments in the urine. Presbyter. Formal, in Presbyterian churches, an elder. Prestressed. Strengthened by means of rods or wires inserted under tension before setting. Pro-life. Opposing abortion and euthanasia. Quoth. Old use or humorous said, used only in first and third person singular before the subject. Raffia. Fiber from the leaves of a tropical palm tree, used for making hats, baskets, etc. Reword. Put something into different words. Rheology. The branch of physics concerned with the deformation and flow of matter. Ribald. Referring to sex in an amusingly coarse way. Satirize. Mock or criticize by using humor, irony, or exaggeration. Skull cap. A small close-fitting cap without a peak. Stagflation. High inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand in a country's economy. Symbiont. Biology either of two organisms that live in symbiosis with one another. Technocracy. A social or political system in which scientific or technical experts hold a great deal of power. Turpitude. Formal wicked behavior or character. Unromantic. Not romantic. Unruffled. Of a person, calm and unperturbed. Unverifiable. Unable to be verified. Warble. Of a bird, sing with a succession of constantly changing notes. Warplane. An aircraft designed and equipped to take part in air combat or to drop bombs. Abscond. Leave a place hurriedly and secretly to escape from custody or avoid arrest. Antitoxin. An antibody that counteracts a toxin. Archrival. The chief rival of a person, team, or organization. Assignation. A secret meeting, especially one between lovers. Beefsteak. A thick slice of steak, especially rump steak. Befit. Be appropriate for. Bilk. Informal cheat or defraud someone. Catacomb. An underground cemetery consisting of tunnels with recesses for tombs. Chambray. A cloth with a white weft and a colored warp. Hanukkah, Hanukkah. Consonants. Agreement or compatibility. Cubit. An ancient measure of length, approximately equal to the length of a forearm. Delphic. Deliberately ambiguous or hard to understand. Deselect. Turn off a selected feature on a list of options on a computer menu. Disfavor. Disapproval or dislike. Dyspepsia. Indigestion. Earwig. A small insect with a pair of pincers at its rear end. Ectoplasm. A substance that supposedly comes out of the body of a medium during a trance. Escargot. A snail, especially as an item on a menu. Ethology. The science of animal behavior. Faustian. Relating to the German astronomer Johann Faust, who was reputed to have sold his soul to the devil. Fibroid. Relating to fibers or fibrous tissue. Focaccia. A type of flat Italian bread made with olive oil and flavored with herbs. Foreland. An area of land in front of a particular feature. Gusset. A piece of material sewn into a garment to strengthen or enlarge a part of it. Hairball. A ball of hair that collects in the stomach of an animal as a result of the animal licking its coat. Harangue. Address a person or group in a loud and aggressive or critical way. Hijra. Variant spelling of Hijra. Hooter. Informal one a person's nose. Houndstooth. A large checked pattern with notched corners. Housebound. Unable to leave one's house, often due to illness or old age. Hygroscopic. Tending to absorb moisture from the air. Inundate. Overwhelm with things to be dealt with. Jetliner. A large jet aircraft that carries passengers. Jitterbug. A fast dance performed to swing music, popular in the 1940s. Jowl. The lower part of a person's cheek, especially when fleshy. Licentious. Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters. Loge. A private box or enclosure in a theater. Logjam. A situation that seems unable to be settled, deadlock. Martinet. A person who enforces strict discipline. Miscast. Of an actor, be given an unsuitable role. Misdirect. Direct or instruct someone wrongly. Mohican. And noun old-fashioned variant of Mohican or Mohegan. Naphthalene. A white crystalline substance used in mothballs and for chemical manufacture. NIMBY. Informal, a person who objects to the citing of unpleasant developments in their neighborhood. Ninjutsu. The traditional Japanese art of stealth, camouflage, and sabotage, first developed for espionage and now popular as a martial art. Nystagmus. Rapid involuntary movements of the eyes. Outplay. Play better than another person or team. Overman. Provide an organization with more employees than necessary. Overripe. Too ripe. Pendant. Literary hanging down or overhanging. Phenobarbital. A sedative drug used to treat epilepsy. Phlegmatic. Calm and unemotional. Plasterboard. Board made of plaster set between two sheets of heavy paper, used to line interior walls and ceilings. Popish. Derogatory Roman Catholic. Premenstrual. Occurring or experienced before a menstrual period. Pressurize. Keep the air pressure in an aircraft cabin the same as it is at ground level. Primitivism. A belief in the value of what is simple and unsophisticated, expressed especially through art or literature. Pronominal. Relating to or acting as a pronoun. Psychodrama. A form of psychotherapy in which patients act out events from their past. Pugilist. Chiefly humorous, a boxer. Raiment. Old use or literary clothing. Ransack. Go hurriedly through a place stealing things and causing damage. Recombine. Combine again or differently. Sandbank. A buildup of sand forming a raised bank in the sea or a river. Sachet. Informal walk in a confident way, swinging the hips from side to side. Seafarer. A person who travels by sea, especially someone who does this for a living, a sailor. Sensitize. Make someone or something sensitive to or aware of something. Silverfish. A small silvery wingless insect that lives in buildings. Sloe. The small bluish-black fruit of the blackthorn, with a sharp sour taste. Sophomoric. Relating to or characteristic of a sophomore. Spheroid. An object that is roughly the same shape as a sphere. Sportster. A sports car. Stepladder. A short folding ladder. Choose the right word with flat steps and a small platform. Sterol. Biochemistry. Any of a group of naturally occurring unsaturated steroid alcohols, such as cholesterol. Strafe. Attack something with machine gun fire or bombs from low-flying aircraft. Team. Be full of or swarming with. Televangelist. An evangelical preacher who appears regularly on television. Topcoat. An overcoat. Topos. A traditional theme in literature. Transpersonal. Relating to states of consciousness beyond the limits of personal identity. Tubule. A very small tube, especially in an animal or plant. Tufa. A porous rock composed of calcium carbonate and formed as a deposit from mineral springs. Unbidden. Without having been invited. Unflappable. Informal calm in a crisis. Unsentimental. Not displaying or influenced by sentimental feelings. Unsparing. Merciless, severe. Ursuline. A nun of an order founded in Italy for nursing the sick and teaching girls. Violoncello. Formal term for cello. Vulcanized. Hardened by being treated with sulfur at a high temperature. Waggle. Move with short, quick movements from side to side or up and down. Wino. Informal, a person who drinks excessive amounts of cheap wine or other alcohol, especially one who is homeless. Womankind. Women as a group. Accustom. Accustom someone/thing to, make someone or something used to. Actualize. Make something real. Elementary. Relating to food or nutrition. Anorak. A waterproof cold weather jacket with a hood. Audiotape. Magnetic tape on which sound can be recorded. Backswing. A backward swing, especially of an arm or of a golf club when about to hit a ball. Badmouth. Informal, criticize someone. Bagman. Informal, an agent who collects or distributes the proceeds of illicit activities. Betide. Literary happen, or happen to someone. Breadcrumb. A small fragment of bread. Brucellosis. A disease caused by a bacterium, which chiefly affects cattle. Candidiasis. Infection with candida, especially as causing oral or vaginal thrush. Carotenoid. Any of a group of mainly yellow, orange, or red pigments, including carotene, that give color to plant parts such as ripe tomatoes and autumn leaves. Centenarian. A person who is 100 or more years old. Certitude. A feeling of absolute certainty. Civilize. Bring a place or people to an advanced stage of social development. Concessionaire. Someone who holds a concession. Croesus. A very wealthy person. Decaffeinated. Having had most or all of its caffeine removed. Deci. 1/10. Dhow. A ship with a lateen sail or sails, used in the Arabian region. Dieback. A condition in which a tree or shrub begins to die from the tip of its leaves or roots backward. Doorkeeper. A person on duty at the entrance to a building. Dromedary. Dromedaries, an Arabian camel, with one hump. Ductwork. A system or network of ducts. Exotica. Unusual and interesting objects. Flashcard. A card containing a small amount of clearly displayed information, held up for students to see, as an aid to learning. Fricative. Referring to a type of consonant, e.g., f, made by the friction of breath in a narrow opening. Geode. A small cavity in rock lined with crystals or other mineral matter. Gerrymander. Alter the boundaries of a constituency so as to favor one political party in an election. Goiter. A swelling of the neck that is caused by enlargement of the thyroid gland. Headbanging. Violent shaking of the head to the beat of heavy metal music. Honorarium. A voluntary payment for professional services that are offered without charge. Horseplay. Rough, boisterous play. Hydrofoil. A boat fitted with structures, known as foils, that lift the hull clear of the water to increase speed. Hysteric. Hysterics, wildly emotional behavior. Immortalize. Cause someone or something to be remembered for a very long time. Immunize. Make a person or animal immune to infection, typically by inoculation. Inchoate. Just begun and so not fully formed or developed. Inconsiderable. Small in size, amount, extent, etc. Inconstant. Frequently changing, variable or irregular. Incorporeal. Not having a physical body or form. Inextricable. Impossible to disentangle or separate. Infarct. Medicine, a small area of dead tissue resulting from a failure of the blood supply. Knotweed. Knotgrass or a related plant. Koan. A paradox or puzzle that cannot be understood or answered in conventional terms, requiring a learner to abandon ordinary ways of understanding in order to move toward enlightenment. Label. Technical, liable to change, easily altered. Magnificat. The hymn of the Virgin Mary, Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, sung as a regular part of a Christian service. Malthusian. Relating to the theory of the English economist Thomas Malthus that, if unchecked, the population tends to increase at a greater rate than its food supplies. Marginalia. Notes written or printed in the margin of a book or manuscript. Margrave. Historical, the hereditary title of some princes of the Holy Roman Empire. Mendacious. Untruthful, lying. Menfolk. The men of a family or community. Microfiche. A flat piece of film containing greatly reduced photographs of the pages of a newspaper, catalogue, or other document. Misapprehension. A mistaken belief. Moneyed. Variant spelling of moneyed. Monaes/manus/ plural of money, used in financial contexts. Mortgagee. The lender in a mortgage. Muzak. Trademark, recorded light background music played in public places. Overplay. Give too much importance or emphasis to something. Pantaloons. Women's baggy pants gathered at the ankles. Papoose. Often offensive, a young North American Indian child. Passbook. A book issued by a bank to an account holder, recording amounts deposited and withdrawn. Philately. The collection and study of postage stamps. Pilfer. Steal things of little value. Plasticine. Trademark, a soft modeling material. Polyhedron. A solid figure with many plane faces, typically more than 6. Preemie. Informal, a baby born prematurely. Pre-production. Work done on a product, movie, or broadcast program before full-scale production begins. Protractor. An instrument for measuring angles, typically in the form of a flat semicircle marked with degrees along the curved edge. Purdah. The practice in certain Muslim and Hindu societies of screening women from men or strangers by means of a curtain or clothes that completely conceal their bodies. Push-up. An exercise in which a person. Quadrille. A trick-taking card game for 4 players, fashionable in the 18th century. Quintal. A unit of weight equal to a hundredweight, 112 IB, or, formerly. Recommence. Begin again. Returnee. A person who returns to their own country from abroad. Rollerball. A ballpoint pen using thinner ink than other such pens. Sabot. A kind of simple wooden shoe resembling a clog. Saleable. Variant spelling of saleable. Scintilla. A tiny trace or amount. Shipmate. A fellow member of a ship's crew. Short-lived. Lasting only a short time. So-so. Neither very good nor very bad. Technetium. An unstable radioactive metallic element made by high-energy collisions. Telepresence. The use of virtual reality technology, especially for the remote control of machinery or to produce the impression of being in another location. Tranche. A mixture of chopped meat, fish, or vegetables pressed into a container and served cold. Tetrad. Technical a group or set of 4. Thwack. Hit someone or something with a sharp blow. Tokenism. The practice of doing something in a superficial way, so as to be seen to be obeying the law or satisfying a particular group of people. Toll booth. A booth at which drivers must stop to pay a toll. Unalterable. Not able to be changed. Undercoat. A layer of paint applied after the primer and before the top coat. Undisguised. Not disguised or concealed, open. Unenlightened. Not enlightened in outlook. Uproarious. Very noisy or lively. Vocalize. Make a sound or say a word. Wensleydale. A type of white cheese with a crumbly texture. Wildfowl. Birds that are hunted as game, especially water birds. Wrasse. A brightly colored sea fish with thick lips and strong teeth. Aerobatics. Skillful and exciting movements performed in an aircraft for entertainment. Agitprop. Political propaganda, especially in the arts. Albumin. Egg white, or the protein contained in it. Almshouse. Historical, a house founded by charity, offering accommodations for poor people. Amuck. Variant spelling of amuck. Apposite. Very appropriate, apt. Basswood. Any of the linden trees native to North America. Bigwig. Informal and important person. Breviary. A book containing the service for each day, used in the Roman Catholic Church. Calorimeter. A device for measuring the amount of heat involved in a chemical reaction or other process. Carabiner. Variant spelling of carabiner. Corral. A small cubicle with a desk for a reader in a library. Catabolism. A metabolic process in which complex molecules are broken down to form simpler ones and energy is released. Celeriac. A variety of celery that forms a large edible root. Challah. A braided loaf of white bread, traditionally baked to celebrate the Jewish Sabbath. Chlorit. Chemistry: a salt containing ClO, negative ions together with a metallic element. Circumcise. Cut off the foreskin of a young boy or man as a Jewish or Islamic rite. Coprocessor. Computing: a microprocessor designed to supplement the capabilities of the primary processor. Crossbreed. An animal or plant produced by crossing two different species, breeds, or varieties. Crotchety. Irritable. Cryogenics. The branch of physics concerned with the production and effects of very low temperatures. Daikon. A radish with a large slender white root that is typically eaten cooked, especially in Eastern cuisine. Downdraft. A downward current OT draft of air, especially one down a chimney into a room. Ecclesiology. The study of churches, especially church architecture. Elderflower. The flower of the elder, used to make wines and cordials. Endothermic. Accompanied by the absorption of heat. Fastness. A secure place well protected by natural features. Fermion. Physics: a subatomic particle, such as a nucleon, that has a spin of a half integer. Freeloader. Informal: a person who takes advantage of others' generosity without giving anything in return. Gentlewoman. Old use: a woman of noble birth or good social position. Halberd. Historical: a combined spear and battle axe. Heartwood. The dense inner part of a tree trunk, yielding the hardest timber. Hootenanny. Informal and informal gathering with country or folk music and sometimes dancing. Hello. Variant spelling of hello. Interdenominational. Relating to more than one religious denomination. Irregardless. And adverb informal: regardless. Lanthanum. A silvery white rare earth metallic chemical element. Lunge. Variant of lunge. Loofah. A long, rough, fibrous object used like a bath sponge, consisting of the dried inner parts of a tropical fruit. Loupe. A small magnifying glass used by jewelers and watchmakers. Macaroon. A light cookie made with egg white and ground almonds or coconut. Madding. Literary: acting madly, frenzied. Mailbag. A large sack or bag for carrying mail. Malcontent. A person who is dissatisfied and rebellious. Maltose. A sugar produced by the breakdown of starch, e.g., by enzymes found in malt and saliva. Manioc. Another term for cassava. Marmoset. A small tropical American monkey with a silky coat and a long tail. Marquetry. Inlaid work made from small pieces of colored wood, used to decorate furniture. Matriarchy. A form of social organization in which the mother or eldest female is the head of the family. Meissen. Fine porcelain produced at Meissen in Germany since 1710. Meister P. Midrib. A large strengthened vein running down the center of a leaf. Mimesis. Imitation of reality in art and literature. Moneylender. A person whose business is lending money, usually at a high rate of interest. Nearsighted. Unable to see things clearly unless they are close to the eyes. Non-alcoholic. Not containing alcohol. Non-commissioned. Appointed from the lower ranks rather than holding a commission. Numberless. Too many to be counted, innumerable. Orthotics. The branch of medicine concerned with the design and fitting of mechanical devices such as braces or splints. Osmium. A hard, dense silvery white metallic element. Outfall. The place where a river, drain, or sewer empties into the sea, a river, or a lake. Outsize. Exceptionally large. Palimpsest. A parchment or other surface on which writing has been applied over earlier writing that has been erased. Papist. Disapproving a Roman Catholic. Parotid. Relating to a pair of large salivary glands situated just in front of each ear. Pinko. Informal, derogatory, a left-wing or liberal person. Pion. Physics, a meson, subatomic particle, with a mass around 270 times that of the electron. Pleurisy. Inflammation of the membranes around the lungs, causing pain during breathing. Potlatch. A ceremonial feast at which possessions are given away or destroyed as an indication of wealth. Prejudge. Make a judgment about someone or something without having all the necessary information. Ptarmigan. A grouse of northern mountains and the Arctic, whose gray and black plumage changes to white in winter. Purposeless. Done with or having no purpose. Roadwork. Repairs to roads or to pipes or cables under roads. Saturnalia. The ancient Roman festival of the god Saturn in December, a period of wild celebration. Scallion. A long-necked onion with a small bulb, especially a green onion. Skittle. Skittles, treated as sing, a game played with wooden pins set up at the end of an alley to be bowled down with a wooden ball. Southwestward. Toward the southwest. Sprue. A channel through which metal or plastic is poured into a mold. Stabling. Accommodations for horses. Stakeout. Informal, a period of secret observation.